Oh, Ooh. How's everybody doing? Okay, we're gonna go and jump right in to the moon in Aquarius, the female, and of course my merengue. I'm trying very hard not to spill it, because my guys, you know who I'm talking about. That oh, look, see, look, it's spilling. Oh, look, it matches my ring. A shoon, yellow, the color of the sun. Leo. Okay. Delicious. Okay, we're gonna jump right in, right? And we're gonna go deeper into the psychological makeup of the moon in Aquarius female. Okay? Okay. Understand that the woman with the moon in Aquarius from birth, from birth. Well, before I start there, let me piggyback from where I left off with that. I mentioned that she is someone that is a loner and is independent and detached, but she's emotionally intuitive. I mentioned that she can be very domesticated, or the opposite, or jump into the role and equally jump back out. She doesn't like restrictions of any kind. There are emotional involvements that she can choose to be involved or not be involved if it poses a threat to her personal liberty, her personal freedom. And that's defined by each woman differently. You know? Uh, when she puts her fears aside, she can be very loving and fair and trustworthy. The problem arises when she is plagued by fears that are usually emotionally based, and she don't know how to process them because they fall outside of the faculty of the intellect. The emotions are not something that can be dissected like the intellect can. The emotions is not something that you can extrapolate from your spirit because it's uncomfortable to bear. We suppress them, but that doesn't mean that we destroy them. Isn't that what we learn in school? Matter cannot be either created or destroyed. Well, it's the same thing with emotional pain or emotional uncomfortableness. The Aquarian woman doesn't know how to eradicate it from her soul, let alone understand it. So she can become so off kilter, be so off balance because of it, that it is this phenomenon that causes her to appear aloof when you're born with the moon in Aquarius. That's what makes her appear aloof. Is her indecision as to how to handle the matter. Because yet she hasn't processed it and she hasn't quantified it in the way that normally she would anything else pertaining to the intellect. But when it comes to the human emotions and the emotional faculties of intuition and perception and feeling, this is where the woman with the moon in Aquarius runs into a problem. This problem is something that she really does not know how to kind of like bring it together, especially if she's below age 30. So don't be surprised if the moon in Aquarius woman plays certain disappearing acts, doesn't call, doesn't show up. Every time or every passing day or week, she's more despondent. That's by design when she does that. She doesn't have the answer and doesn't know how to arrive at a practical intellectual solution that will give credence to how she's feeling. Because if she cannot make an academic noise about how she's feeling, then why is it worth it to figure it out? It's just a glitch. So let me not inconvenience anyone with this glitch of mine. So she stays away. Like the planet Uranus, all the way out into the fringes of space, hanging sideways with no explanation. She also tends to act in ways that people don't have an explanation, especially those looking from the outside looking in. But just like Uranus has several many moons and Saturn, the co-ruler classically of Aquarius, is like a solar system, a mini solar system unto itself. The Aquarian female or the moon in Aquarius female has the potential, well, not the potential, she actualizes her own happiness because she creates it in her mind. And she really is, despite the lackings that one might perceive she's going through from the outside looking in, she's quite a very happy woman with herself, with her computer, her iPhone, the technology, human contact and warmth and feeling and companionship, like eating together, walking, taking parks, walks in the park together, having dining, having a brunch together, cuddling. Those things mean more to her than actually fucking and having a cigarette afterwards and having a man there for that sustenance. She doesn't want a man or feel that she needs a man in the same way that most of her other 11 astrological sisters do. No. She can live a perfectly well balanced life without the psychological need of a partner as far as consummation, sexual intercourse, and interplay. Now that only goes but so far. I won't see this being the case if we're dealing with an Aquarius moon woman below age 30. But it's definitely plausible if it is above age 30. Because the moon in Aquarius female likes experimentation. And experimentation begins with curiosity of the self. But this is not unique to the moon in Aquarius woman because this is part of natural pubescence and puberty. And that we go through these stages, each in their own different varieties according to race, culture, and upbringing, and pathos and values, and all that, blah, 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 blah. But understand that in the interim, there is a basis margin, like we have in the stock markets. We have the call price, the asking price, and then we have the basis margin in which we can make profits or start losing profit. Right. So the basis margin when it comes to the Aquarian woman or the Aquarian moon woman is her ability to take her experiences, secular, personal, interpersonal, impersonal, because there's personal, interpersonal, and then impersonal. Okay? Personal is Gemini, interpersonal is Libra, and impersonal is Aquarius. So, the way that she gets to express her love and her love primarily is by consistent dedication. You're dealing with a woman who's a very, very, very dedicated woman. Aside from Virgo, because then again, it makes sense because Aquarius is the higher octave of Virgo. Just like Uranus is the higher octave to Mercury, the planet. So here we see a lot of commonality, but with the moon in Aquarius, with the women, there's also a certain level of eccentricity and complexity. And this is pulling from the planet Uranus, which sits at its sideways and is a mystery, even to this day, to modern cosmologists. So, too, is the psychological nature of the moon in Aquarius. No different. No different. So, how can the woman with the moon in Aquarius find happiness and find balance? Because she's so safe and feels so insulated and even empowered when she marches to the beat of her own drum. But then at the same time, she requires love, attention, warmth, even human touch. The opposite of Aquarius is Leo, the personality, the ego. The Aquarian woman or the Aquarian moon woman, by being so impersonal and emotionally detached, she is waging a hefty price to her own self worth and her own sense of being. She's the type of woman that doesn't mind losing herself in a crowd of people. She don't mind being that wrench or that screwdriver that passes hand from man, from hand, from hand, from hand. And as long as it gets the job done, but by the time you get to the 10,000th person, that screwdriver, which she represents, is worn out, dirty, aged, and losing in its luster. The best of itself was given away and nothing was retained for self. Because the Aquarian moon woman doesn't feel that she is functioning at her optimum or at her best if she is not being contributory to society in some way that aids the collective. And in a way that provides a form of enmeshment where she loses herself in the aid of her cause. Now that may sound very noble and well and good in the professional arena. But how does this work when it comes to the romantic love side? That sooner or later is going to knock on the door of the Aquarian moon woman. Will she be able to handle the matters of the heart the same way she handles a checkbook or an organization or a crowd of people? Ah! Ah! This is where we run into a problem. She is a woman from the very beginning. From the very beginning, she is embarking in her head because then when she reaches prime where she can actually do something, but you'll be surprised there's a lot of Aquarian moon girls, I'm talking below age 10, below age 15, that already have a vision quest and already have a mission that they want to embark on. And if it doesn't happen then, it happens when they get much older. And I'm talking about in their 20s, reaching the prime. The moon in Aquarius woman always wants to feel utilitarian, needed. And she's always out trying to help a cause or a mission. Now, she might not be expressing this to you openly. And this is something that you might not even know of your own daughter. You know, if you're a parent and she's below age 30. She might not even be aware of. All it takes is a form of stimulation that will cause her to identify with whom she is how she vibrates from within, and how that vibration can be utilized by the public, by the collective. Because in here lies the sole basis for the woman with the moon in Aquarius. The basis for her to feel connected to the whole, all for one and one for all. She needs to feel that connection to the whole or to the one. She seldom makes the connection to both. It has to be one or the other. If one polarity disappoints her, which is a personal relationship, she'll run away from the pain and throw herself into public works, public activity, or something that will require an enmeshment with others versus being acquainted or antiquainted with an individual. And if it's the group that hurts her and violates her, she'll run towards the arms of a man that can insulate her, pamper her, and cherish her, and just assure her own beauty and her own worth. Are we talking about Leo here? The opposite polarity of Aquarius is Leo. So she can go from both Aquarius to Leo depending on the circumstances. The moon in Aquarius, female. She's something else. Oh, she's something else. Now, let's forward a little bit and talk about how the fact that the more you, this is how self-effacing the moon in Aquarius woman can be, where she can be doing all kinds of good things, all kinds of great works for you, for an individual, her husband, her children, but for a group, a society. Let's say something as simple as a PTA committee. She has her children in the school and she's a member of the PTA. Let's take it that simple, no? And she's doing all kinds of great things to elevate the school, help the children, and is being an active member of the board of the school, PTA, the parent association. Now, people come because when it's time for reward, people are giving her praise, showing their appreciation for her, elevating her as they should, because she is someone that's bringing insight, innovation, especially innovation, which can bring any society or any thought or concept to a higher level of vibration. Do you know that the moon in Aquarius woman will resent you or get angry at you if you show her any kind of dedication or gratitude for who she is and for what she's doing? She hates to receive gratitude from people. It bothers her. It makes her uncomfortable. And this tends to throw people off and confuse people. You know, you cannot compliment her because she don't like it. You cannot praise her and thank her because then she doesn't want the gratitude and can be quite nasty if it happens frequently enough where she's not letting you know and making the point clear that she don't want your gratitude, even though she's equally deserving of it. So this makes her come across like a bitch, pulling from the Leo, the narcissist, self-centeredness. So now, but with the Aquarian moon woman, it manifests differently than the moon in Leo woman. The Aquarian woman will look, the Leo woman will do this, whatever, grand. The Aquarian woman will do this and dismiss you in a way that you'd rather be dismissed by the Leo woman than the Aquarian woman, because then you feel that cold air of Saturn, the classical ruler of Aquarius, old man winter, or even Uranus, because Uranus, even though it has tremendous storms in it, it's still very cold. Okay? She'll let you know just how small and insignificant you are to her. That the mere fact that she just bucked her eyes at you and turned around was more than you deserved. Ooh, like the Taurus woman who could ignore the shit out of you. Oh, these are the fixed signs, and they know how to do their shit really good. So, in order to gain the respect of an Aquarian woman, you can praise her, you can thank her, And you have to act just as impersonal in response as she is with you. That's a tall order. That's a lot to require from niggas, from dudes. You think dudes are gonna give that kind of energy and specificity, especially if you're dealing with a woman below age 30? They're like, hey, get the fuck out of here. Don't go with some other bitch where they can get more easier access than the moon in Aquarius woman. Like the moon in Capricorn woman. Difficult to get at the pants of these women, get at the skirts of these women. Very difficult. I don't care how good looking you are as a guy or a stud, because it's so much more complex than that with these women as we approach Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. The last triad before we return back to God or come back to the wheel of rebirth. You know, the drama gets a little bit more complicated. It really does. It really, really does. Okay. Understand. The truth is, talking a little bit of the gratitude part. The truth is that she cannot feel the gratitude coming towards her. Even though you're giving gratitude, which she genuinely deserves, she don't feel it. She don't feel it coming towards her. Emotionally, you know what happens? And this, many astrologers believe that this is fucked up. But this is not at the consciousness of the moon in Aquarius woman. Many people really believe, she thinks, okay? She thinks she has done nothing big or significant for you at all. She don't feel the impact of how important what she did for you is, and therefore she can feel the gratitude and as just as impersonal as she do whether she's buying a pair of pants, blue or green. And that offends people. And she don't mean to do this. She really don't. The moon in Aquarius woman is complex, folks. It's complex. I'm earning my money here. You know, everything. I have to write 5 pages on this and be very careful with it. You know, because it's different below age 30 and post age 30. If you're educated, middle class, upper middle class, even ethnicity counts here. Even ethnicity counts here. See, the woman with the moon in Aquarius has a lot of potential. In fact, she has all the potentials within her. She can be exceptional at anything she wants to put her mind in, especially when we're dealing with science, technology. You know, she is highly convincing. Now, like Libra, she's friends with all kinds of people from all different walks of life. And each group, secular, non-secular, sectarian, non-sectarian, they are valuable to her. To her, they represent the mosaic of what is humanity. You know, you're dealing with a woman that's highly idealistic. And in her approach to life, and in her approach to trying to decode life. Like the moon in Capricorn, she also is a woman of tradition. She loves tradition. Okay? She prefers peace over war. She, but with the moon in Aquarius, this woman cannot escape that easily. She is a woman that her heart is made of gold, but you have to take time to understand her. Now, thank you guys for we are done with the segment. 15 seconds left. Call me 347-485-6258 if you want a personal reading. Follow me on Instagram, Fernando Prudhomme, the People's Astrologer, and we are done with this segment.